Welcome to Ping24 Updates. Subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The West Philippine Sea is a stage for tense encounters between the massive China Coast Guard and the smaller Philippine vessels. The Philippine Coast Guard and Bureau of Fisheries regularly resupply the BRP Sierra Madre at Ayungin Shoal, a vital outpost. These missions are lawful, but they're met with aggressive Chinese maneuvers, dangerous blocking, close shadowing, and powerful water cannon blasts. These water cannons aren't just for show. They can shatter glass, damage equipment, and injure crew. China's intent is clear: intimidate, disrupt, and physically block the Philippines from its own exclusive economic zone. The Philippines responds with restraint, documenting every incident instead of retaliating. Filipino crews show courage, holding their course, and gathering evidence of Chinese aggression. Their water cannons remain unused, a deliberate choice, not a sign of weakness. This restraint is a cornerstone of a sophisticated national strategy. China's tactics fall into gray zone operations, coercive acts just below open conflict, using Coast Guard and militia instead of Navy. By refusing to mirror these tactics, the Philippines denies China the narrative of equal confrontation. Each incident becomes a clear case of a large nation bullying a smaller neighbor. This narrative resonates globally, shifting the dispute from a maritime scuffle to a matter of international concern. The stark asymmetry in tactics defines the current state of the dispute. The world is watching, and Manila's restraint is its most powerful weapon. The Philippines' decision not to use its own water cannons is strategic, not a sign of weakness. The Coast Guard has the capability, but restraint is a disciplined policy from the highest levels. Retaliating would shift the narrative from victim to equal combatant, exactly what China wants. This is strategic patience, requiring immense discipline from Filipino crews under attack. By absorbing and documenting aggression, the Philippines builds a case for international support. Not retaliating prevents escalation, avoiding a spiral from water cannons to ramming, or worse. Manila's restraint keeps the focus on legal and moral standing, not military might. It also protects Filipino personnel, whose smaller ships would fare worse in any confrontation. The goal is to sustain the outpost and assert rights, not to win a sea battle. By focusing on the mission and avoiding direct conflict, the Coast Guard prioritizes both safety and strategy. This approach denies China justification for further escalation. It's a calculated move that keeps the Philippines in control of the narrative and the situation. The Philippines' strategy centers on occupying the moral high ground. In today's world, perception is power. Global opinion matters as much as military strength. By acting responsibly and with restraint, the Philippines builds a compelling narrative of a nation committed to peace and law. Video evidence of Chinese aggression, shared worldwide, bolsters Manila's credibility. This transparency forces the international community to confront the issue. Sympathy and support from Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific have grown as a result. The Philippines' approach makes it easier for other countries to condemn China's actions without appearing partisan. This strategy isolates China diplomatically, making bilateral, misunderstanding claims untenable. Each incident internationalizes the dispute, raising the diplomatic cost for Beijing. The more China acts aggressively, the more it undermines its own global standing. The Philippines' strongest weapon is international law, anchored by the 2016 Hague ruling. The tribunal invalidated China's 9-dash line and affirmed Philippine rights to Ayungin Shoal. Every Philippine action reinforces this legal foundation. By refusing to retaliate, Manila keeps its actions fully compliant with international law. This legal clarity is a powerful diplomatic asset. Philippine diplomats present legal facts, not just political arguments. China's rejection of the ruling weakens its own claims to respect international law. The Philippines, by contrast, champions UNCLOS, strengthening ties with allies. The 2016 ruling gives other nations a clear reason to support Manila. This transforms a regional dispute into a global principle worth defending. If the Philippines responded to water cannon attacks in kind, the risks would multiply. China's larger fleet would inflict more damage, and escalation could quickly spiral. Ramming, boarding, even armed conflict. A single injury or death could trigger a regional crisis. Manila's restraint is a crucial circuit breaker, preventing this dangerous spiral. Retaliation would also erode the Philippines' moral authority and international support. China would seize on any Philippine response to paint Manila as the provocateur. The strategic cost would far outweigh any fleeting satisfaction. Instead, the Philippines asserts its rights through assertive transparency, sailing into contested waters, resupplying its outpost, and documenting every incident. By refusing to be baited, Manila controls the terms of engagement. The confrontation plays out in law and public opinion, where the Philippines holds the advantage. This disciplined approach prioritizes long-term goals over short-term reactions. The world sees a nation standing firm, not escalating. That's the real victory. The Philippines' alliance with the United States is a critical backstop. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty means an armed attack on Philippine vessels could trigger U.S. intervention. Washington has clarified this applies to Coast Guard ships in the South China Sea. This deterrent shapes Manila's strategy. Restraint ensures the Philippines can't be blamed for starting a conflict. If escalation occurs, responsibility falls squarely on China. The U.S. provides intelligence, surveillance, and joint exercises, strengthening Philippine resolve. This support gives Manila confidence to pursue assertive transparency. The alliance keeps the Philippines from being diplomatically isolated. The shadow of U.S. support is a powerful deterrent to further Chinese aggression. It's a partnership built on clarity, discipline, and shared interests. Beyond the U.S., the Philippines is building a coalition of international partners. By framing the dispute as a defense of global principles, freedom of navigation, international law, Manila attracts support from Japan, Australia, the UK, and others. These nations conduct joint exercises, provide training, and issue strong statements backing the 2016 ruling. This network raises the diplomatic cost for China and reinforces regional stability. The Philippines' transparency and restraint make it a responsible partner, encouraging others to align with its cause. This multilateral approach counters China's narrative of U.S. interference. It's not just a U.S.-China rivalry. It's a broad coalition defending shared values. A collective voice is much harder for Beijing to dismiss. Strategic restraint is also about economic survival. The West Philippine Sea is vital for fishing, energy, and trade, key to the Philippines' prosperity. Escalation would devastate the economy, scare off investment, and disrupt trade. The government's priority is national development, not costly conflict. By insisting on legal frameworks for resource exploration, Manila keeps doors open for future cooperation. Escalation would deter reputable partners. Restraint creates stability. The goal: exercise sovereign rights, develop resources, and protect livelihoods without sacrificing economic growth. It's a pragmatic, long-term calculation. The Philippines' refusal to retaliate is a forward-looking strategy for a new era of geopolitics. Manila competes where it has the advantage: law, moral authority, and alliances. Assertive transparency is raising global awareness and strengthening coalitions. Each act of Chinese aggression damages Beijing's reputation and strengthens Manila's case. The strategy's success will be measured in secure outposts, safe fishermen, and lawful resource development. The Philippines is shaping a battlefield where it can prevail by championing rules, not force. This approach serves both national interests and offers a model for smaller nations facing larger powers. In the end, it's a fight for a future where law, not might, decides the outcome.